What's going on, LEGO Maniacs? It's Ty, the LEGO guy here, and welcome to another Pirates of the Caribbean review. Today we're taking a look at the London Escape. That's set 4193. It has 462 pieces, 5 minifigs, retailed for $50 US, and it came out in 2011. Now nowadays this set's going for 116 new, or 80 used, and I have to say I think it's really underrated. Nobody talks about it, but I actually think it's a pretty good set. But we're gonna get into its positives and its negatives. But enough talk, let's get right into it. And to begin, we'll actually take a look at the Stagecoach. I really like this carriage. Let's give you guys a 360 view without scratching the wheels against the table. As you guys can see, very cool. This set has a couple things that were on their last legs they don't really do anymore. So right here, as you guys can see, they got a little treasure chest, and this has those awesome gold chrome pieces, and it even includes a chrome bar. So I really like that. You guys watch this channel, you know I'm a sucker for basically the old way they did treasure. And if we move this around, it has good drivability as well. If you do it like that, it doesn't squeak. And it actually has a feature, so if you have Jack Sparrow on the top right here, you can actually shoot him off if you do this. So the feature works okay. I think it's a little gimmicky, but what I really like about this though, as it continues to squeal, is the Stagecoach's little cabin, whatever you want to call it. It very nicely can fit a fig. Like if you wanted to put one of the pirates in here, you'd have no problem. So nicely fits them. You can't fit two, which is unfortunate, but still nice looking. And then it has a nice little place for the Stagecoach driver. Nice area to kind of fit either of his weapons, or I guess his musket, and then as well as his whip. And you can move the carriage like so if you want to direct it. Has good playability if you're a kid. This is actually one of the last sets too that had this style of horse. Very shortly after this, I believe 2013, correct me if I'm wrong, it actually had another little area for the hips, so you could actually put the horse into kind of like it's jumping, or you know, a little bit more displayability with it. But I still do like these old style horses. It's just this set has a lot of the last times that they've ever done it, whether it be the coins, whether it be the horses, and I just kind of really like that. It's kind of like old meets new. Anyways, that's the first little carriage. Let's take a look at the second. And now we've come to the coal carriage, whatever you want to call it. And I do quite like this one. Let's give you guys a 360 view. Again, try not to kill your ears as those wheels scrape along the table. So nice looking. What I like about this is it has, again, nice little area to store a shovel, a little whip, a little lantern. And what's cool about it is you can also raise this, and it kind of shows the coal and the fire, and I just think that that's really awesome. Good drivability like the other carriage, and same style of horse, except this one, unlike the Stagecoach, this one's white. So I like the fact that you get a variety. But yeah, that's the next carriage. Let's take a look at actually the biggest build that's included in this set. And that is none other than the Tavern. I absolutely love this thing. It's not that big, but it perfectly captures what you kind of want with a tavern. It really reminds me of the medieval market, or like the, you know, Barracuda Bay, or where you have, you know, that little tavern. This one, much like it, instead of saying Jose's Tavern, this one just says the captain's daughter. So I thought that was fantastic. It is a printed piece too. It's not a sticker, so I do quite appreciate that. As you guys can see, very nice detail on the front of the little tavern. It does look quite London-y. Obviously this is like the 17th century, and I think it really gets her done. What's cool about it as well is you can open this up, and it's actually like a little, this is one of the few features I actually like about this set. Like, I think that it actually works. It's not gimmicky. It's kind of like you can sneak a minifig in there if you wanted, or maybe the red coats are trying to get at Jack Sparrow. And what's cool is you can close her up, but right there it has literally these barrels, and they're supposed to be ale. So I thought that was fantastic. Nice looking little door as well. It does work. You can open and close it. And then on the top area, as you guys can see, there's a spider in the top right corner and a very nice looking little ship printed piece. So I do quite like that. It also has some instruments from the time and some more little torches and whatnot throughout. So really do like it. It's simple. It's not that big, but I think it really gets the job done. Again, it really reminds me of the Barracuda Bay. It gives me those vibes, but it was a far cheaper set to buy at the time. But that pretty well does the builds. One last thing I wanted to mention, I love the fact that there's a little chimney here. It would have been kind of cool if they had flames right here and it was kind of like a little fireplace, but regardless, still a pretty cool little tavern. Anyways, again, those are the 3 builds that are included. Let's now take a look at the minifigs. But before we do that, I also wanted to mention you get a couple other little builds. So you get some nice bottles of rum, a little wine glass, and then you get a little barrel of ale on a little stand. So I just think that's awesome. It just adds a little bit more to the set. But yeah, again, that's now take a look at those figs. And here we have the first 2 minifigs I thought we could take a look at. So on the left, we have a very fancy looking red coat officer. And on the right, we have just a typical red coat soldier. So let's just give you guys a 360 view of these red coats. Do quite like them. So the one on the left is just your typical red coat. Basically, we get them in a number of different pirate sets. But on the left, what I really liked about him is his torso printing is quite fancy, and I loved his little sheath to store his cutlass. I think that looks fantastic. And I also like the fact that he kind of has a Han Solo type face. Like, that's what I thought of when I saw it. And he also has gold shoulder pads, unlike the typical red coat soldier who has a blue one. But yeah, all in all, nice looking soldiers. I love the fact that you can kind of army build off this set. But yeah, those are the first 2 figs. Let's now take a look at the next 3. And here they are. So on the far left, we have Mr. Gibbs. In the middle, Jack Sparrow. And then on the right, we have the Stagecoach driver, who actually may be one of my favorite figs in this set. I do believe he's the most unique. So let's actually just show you guys the back face printing. There's Mr. Gibbs, he's freaked out. Jack Sparrow, also freaked out. And then we have the Stagecoach driver, who doesn't have any back face printing, but he does have nice, simple back torso printing. So do quite like them. I also love the fact that Jack Sparrow continually has that custom hair mold with the hat. I think it looks phenomenal. As you can see, he also has a nice little compass, and the Stagecoach driver also has a nice looking little torso. So does Jack Sparrow, which actually what's interesting is he's showing a little bit more skin than he generally does. I'm actually surprised. It's the first time I've noticed it. And then we have Mr. Gibbs, and he just has, a typical kind of fancy, rugged looking torso. Not really fancy, but just a lot of different garments it looks like he's wearing. But yeah, all in all, nice looking figs. Do quite like them. Let's actually just take off Jack Sparrow's hairpiece so you can get a little bit better view of his torso. And I also love the fact that he has leg printing. Just looks fantastic. But yeah, those are the figs. Let's now get into the end of the review and get my final thoughts. Well guys, that was my review. Do hope you enjoyed it. Honestly, this set's fantastic. You get a little tavern, you get 2 awesome carriages, you get some awesome figs. I would have liked it if they included maybe like a barmaid or something, or maybe another coach driver to, drive the coal coach or the coal carriage, but that's quite a bit. Like, I mean, 5 minifigs for 50 US is definitely nothing to scoff at. I think that they give us a fair amount of different figs, and I love the fact that you get an officer and a soldier, so you can kind of build your red coat army. But let me know what your guys' thoughts are on this one, if you like it, if you don't, any areas you think they could maybe improve on it. I just think all in all, it's a good model. I think that the features are a little gimmicky, but all in all, I think it's a pretty good set. But yeah, that's all I got for you today. But if you like this video, leave it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, definitely consider subscribing and click that bell so you're notified for any future Pirates of the Caribbean or just pirates in general reviews. We do one basically once a month, and I really enjoy doing them. But yeah, that's all I got for you again. But thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.